Cool, so in this presentation I'm going to be having a look at first what is Yammer and why you should be using it in your business, and then we'll have a look at what you need before you can configure Yammer. So there's a couple of things that you just need to get before you can actually go through and set that up. Then we'll have a look at the steps actually involved for going through configuring Yammer and getting that integration set up. And then we'll look at setting up some system post rules. So that's like when a lead's created and we want to post that to Yammer automatically, we can set up those rules and have those automatically going into Yammer. And then we'll also look at posting some user posts. So like on a contact record, we can type in an update and post it to that record wall, and then that will feed into Yammer as well. We can see those posts on the Yammer records as well. And so we'll also have a look at those record walls in CRM and how those get translated into Yammer, and how we can see a Yammer page created for each record that we post on. So what is Yammer? So Yammer is a social network, so it's similar to like other social networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, but the difference with Yammer is that it's private to your organization. So whereas like Facebook or Yammer, Twitter for example, those are public, so it's you communicate, share stuff with your friends. Yammer, it's just within your organization, so if you post an update or share some files or pictures, that's other colleagues within your organization can see those, comment on those, and you can communicate more easily with your colleagues, so you don't have to, say, send them an email or do a group email. You can just start a conversation on Yammer, and then your other colleagues can see that and collaborate on that. So if you want to share some files, instead of sending out a bulk email to everyone, you can post a file up on Yammer, and then anyone else can see that file, download it, and they can access that at any time. They don't have to have that in their inbox, doesn't get lost behind thousands of other emails. It'll always be in Yammer, and they can anytime search for that and quickly find that record. And they can also post status updates. So if you say, for example, if you've got an announcement, you can post that up on Yammer, and people can see that and like that, share it, post comments on that. So why use Yammer? Why would you want to use Yammer within your organization? So it's really good for doing collaborations on projects. So instead of having a meeting, say not everyone's in the office at that time, or not everyone's available, there might be in other countries or other areas of the country, so you can just start a conversation, a group conversation on Yammer, and you can have multiple people have different inputs into that conversation. They don't even have to be online at that time. They can come along at any time and give their input on that. And it also means you don't have to take notes during the meeting, because it'll always be on Yammer, so anyone can come through and search for that and see what the result was from that meeting. It's also good for asking questions. So if you've got a problem and you not sure who to ask, you can just post a question on Yammer, post it out to all your colleagues, and anyone who knows the answer to that, they can go in there and post a response to that. And that means if anyone else has a similar problem later on, they can come in and find that, and they can quickly get a response to that. Also, if you're a manager, you can easily click on someone's Yammer record, and you can see from their user point of view what they've been working on, what their activities have been. And so when you've got the Yammer integration with CRM, you can see what records they've been creating and what they've been working on in CRM as well. And that's without even having to actually go into CRM at all. So you don't have to be a CRM user to be in Yammer and get those CRM updates. And also, so less phone calls, less emails, so you can keep your emails separate. So have all your emails for your client stuff, any internal stuff like sending files, anything like that, that can be kept in Yammer. So then it cleans that up, and you don't have to sift through all your internal emails to get to the stuff that actually matters. And just a couple of examples how we use Yammer. So we're currently using Yammer in our business for a couple of weeks now. And so when we've got a client praising us, we put that testimonial up on our Yammer so everyone can see that. They can see if a client's praised a colleague, then we can all go on and see that and like that, and comment on that as well. And it's also good just to have a bit of a joke, so you can post some fun things up there as well, so it's not so formal as you would with your emails. You can have a bit of fun on there as well. And so there are a couple of other reasons why you'd want to use Yammer. I've just covered a couple of these here. So there's a link at the bottom there. If you go to that, or just search for why use Yammer, then you should be able to find that in one of the first results, and it's got lots of reasons why you'd want to use Yammer. So just a quick preview of what Yammer looks like. So we've got a screenshot of the main area, and just on the right there you can see you've got your recent activity, and that just shows basically what's happened recently, and you can scroll through those and see different older activities. So with the CRM integration, that's where your system posts will show up. So if you've got a new contact created, new lead created, leads qualified, those will show up on the right there in that recent activity. Down the middle, you've got your user posts, or your news feed. So if someone in Yammer, if they post a message on a record or in the What's New area, that will show up here in Yammer, and then so anyone in Yammer can scroll through those. They'll be able to see those latest updates, comment on those, and then get fed back into CRM. And so on the left, we've got our groups, so you can separate your areas of your business. So you might have your developers group, your sales group, marketing group, and then so anyone can post in those groups, and it will just go out to those specific users. You might not want to post something to the whole organization, just to a certain area of your business. And so one of the uses of groups with CRM is that we can configure a group for CRM posts to go into. So for example, we've got the CRM integrations demo, just so then when we're doing our Yammer demos like I'm doing now, then we can send everything into that group, so it doesn't clutter up the whole of the Yammer organization. We'll just put everything into that side group. So what do you need to begin? First you'll need a Yammer Enterprise account. So by default, when if you go to sign up for Yammer, there's the free version. That won't be available with the CRM integrations. You need to get the Enterprise account, and I'll show you how to get that in the next slide. You'll also need to have CRM 2011 with the latest product updates. So I'll show you how to check that you've got those latest updates. And you'll also need to be a system administrator in both CRM and in Yammer to be able to connect those that integration. So getting the Yammer Enterprise account, if you contact sales, so go to that URL there, and you can see it's got the basic or enterprise. So the basic one, you just need to sign up. The enterprise one, you need to contact sales and fill out your details, and then you'll get an automatic response saying someone will contact you within 24 hours. If they don't, or if you have any issues, then you can contact Aaron Zukowski. So you've got just give him a call, he'll sort you out and have that set up within 24 hours. So to get the latest CRM updates, if you go into settings and administration, you should be able to either see if you've got that Yammer configuration below resources in use, then you'll know that you've got that latest update. If you don't see that, or if you just want to make sure you've got the latest updates, click on that product updates, and it'll tell you if you've got the latest updates. If not, then just go through and install those, and then when you come back into administration, you should be able to see that Yammer configuration at the bottom. So click on that Yammer configuration, and then that'll take us to actually setting it up. So it'll ask us to just read that disclaimer, so accept that, and then click on continue. And then it'll ask us to authorize our CRM Online to connect with Yammer. So click on that, and it will ask us to log into Yammer. So enter your details, and then that'll connect it up to your CRM system. And then once that loads, we'll be able to select a group. So this is where we can define a specific group for all our Yammer posts to go into from CRM. So if we pick, that's an optional step, but if we pick that CRM integrations demo, so everything will go into that group. If we leave that selection blank, then that just means all our Yammer posts will go to the whole organization in Yammer. And at the bottom we can select the security level, so that's for our system posts. So if we set that to private, then only users that follow that particular record will get those updates in their Yammer activity stream. So for example, if we have a lead, and we have a couple of users that are following that lead, and then someone qualifies that lead, only the users that were following that record will get that update in Yammer. But if we set that to public, then everyone will get that update, so it doesn't matter if you're following it or not. So once that's done, that's set up, so that's configured now. You can start posting user posts on Yammer walls in CRM, and that'll get posted to Yammer. But before, just to make sure that the system posts are all working, we need to just come down into settings and post configurations, and this will list all the entities that can be used for Yammer. So generally it's just all of the standard entities. So when you create a custom entity, that'll automatically create this post configuration in this area here. So you can see a couple of them are active by default. So we can just go through and activate any of the other ones that we want to switch on. So we'll come in, for example, select competitor, and then just click on activate from the ribbon. And then that will put that what's new tab at the top of that record form. So we can go in there and enter Yammer updates directly onto that form. So once you've enabled the Yammer, the post configurations, you then come down to post rule configurations, and this is where we actually define what basically gets posted to Yammer for those entities. So you'll see we've got on the left of that view, we've got the post entity IDs. So we've got, for example, competitor and lead, and we want to turn on the new competitor and new lead created. So we'll just select those and then click on enable for Yammer, and you'll see that when you're in the all Yammer rules view, you've got that column on the right that just shows if it is being posted to Yammer. So a couple of those will be on by default, for like account contact, lead, case. So we've just selected a couple of other ones and turned those on as well. And so there's a couple, the post rule configurations can only be posted to Yammer for these entities, the case, lead, opportunity, account contact, competitor. So if we wanted to, so for example, for the for other rules, like for when an appointment is created, that won't be able to be posted to Yammer. So only the rules for these entities can be posted to Yammer. So we can still use the user posts for those other entities, but just for the system posts, those are only for these entities. So once you've finished configuring all your post rules and post configurations, just make sure you publish all customizations, and that will ensure those updates are pushed out to your system, and then those post rules will start working. So once that's all done, you then just need to make sure, before you can actually open up those Yammer feeds in CRM, you just need to make sure your Yammer email matches one of your CRM email addresses. So you can see in Yammer, my email is paul@magnetismsolutions.com. So I just need to make sure on my CRM record that email address is in one of those email fields. So it doesn't have to be the primary email field, it just has to be one of those email fields. So once those match, we can then jump into our Yammer feeds. So if we go into the settings, what's new area, we'll be able to click on that Yammer tab at the top and see all those Yammer posts from Yammer. So to trigger a system post, for example, we create a contact, we'll be able to see on that system posts tab, we can see the contacts that have been created, and it tells us the date that they were created, who created them, and so what record it is. So we can click through to that record, and then after a short while, those will also show up in the Yammer activity feeds. So you can see it doesn't have quite as much information. All it shows us is that which user created the record. It doesn't tell us what type of record it is or when it was created. But if we actually click on that, so it's got a hyperlink to that record in Yammer, we can click on that, and then that'll take us through to the Yammer page. And so on that Yammer page, we can then see the name of the record, and it says under there contact in CRM, so we know what type of record it is and when it was last updated. It's also got a direct link to that CRM record, so anyone in Yammer can click on that directly and pop open that contact record. And then at the bottom, we'll have any of those wall posts for that contact. So anyone that's gone into that contact record and typed in their user post, that will show up in Yammer on this page. So this page will only show the user posts, so not those system posts. the system post will only show up on the right in that recent activity, and that's just so it doesn't clutter up your news feeds. If you've got hundreds of system posts getting generated, you don't want all those showing up in your news feed. So those are only in that recent activity stream on the right of Yammer. So in our contact records, this is in CRM now. We've got that Yammer feed on the right. So you can see someone's posted a comment from CRM saying, can someone follow up with this? And then there's been a reply, so that's from Yammer. So someone's seen that activity pop up in Yammer, and they've been able to reply directly to that from Yammer, and that's fed back into the CRM record, and then we can reply to that again from CRM. So you can reply from, doesn't matter where you post the comment, you can be in CRM, in Yammer, those will always get displayed in both places. And when you post a record, post an update on a Yammer wall in CRM or in Yammer, it'll also show up in the What's New area of CRM. So you can see when you're on that Yammer tab, you can see the same messages that were posted on that record wall, and also in Yammer, in your activity stream, you can see those comments as well. So it's visible in both CRM walls, CRM records, and in Yammer. Cool, so have a look at a demo now, just start to finish configuring Yammer with CRM. So I've got a fresh instance of CRM here, so it hasn't been customized at all. And I'm just going to configure that up with our Yammer instance. So we'll come down into settings, and then click on administration. And if we scroll down, we can see we've got that Yammer configuration, so we know we've got the latest updates, but just to make sure, we can click on product updates. Cool, so it says we've got the latest updates, so you can just come back into administration and click on Yammer configuration. So read and accept the disclaimer, and you just click on authorize our Yammer account. So I'm already logged into Yammer, so that's going to automatically connect. So it's going to show up down here that we're connected to our Magnetism Solutions Yammer account. And then we can come down and select the Yammer group to post to. So I'm going to select that CRM Integrations demo group. And then the level of security, I'm going to set that to public, just so I don't have to follow each record, so I can get those updates. Cool, so I don't have to save anything at this point, it's going to automatically save, so I can just come straight into those post configurations from there. And so that's the actual integration done. I'm just going to go through and make sure these post rules are enabled. So a couple of them are enabled. I'm just going to select competitor and then activate that one as well. And so once that's done, it should ask us to publish. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that for now, and I'll publish once we've done the post rules as well. So I'll come down into post rules, and we'll see the competitor. Those rules are now active, but it's currently not being posted to Yammer. So I'm going to select that one, and I'll also select the new lead created. And then I'll just hit enable for Yammer from the ribbon. And so now when new competitors or new leads are created, those will get posted to that Yammer activity stream. Okay, and finally I'll just publish all customizations, and that will post those changes out to the system. And then lastly, I'll just need to make sure that my email addresses match. So I'll come into my CRM user record. I'll just open that up. And so that email is different, so I'm just going to enter it into the second email address field. Cool, and then save and close. So if I come back into Workplace now, and I'll go into What's New, I can see I've now got this Yammer tab at the top, and then System Posts. So Yammer will show all our user posts, and the System Posts will show any of our system posts that were set up in those post config rules. And so that's not necessarily just the ones that are posted to Yammer, that's all the ones that are activated. Just the ones that are enabled for Yammer will show up in our Yammer streams as well. So we can see we've got a post here at the moment, even though this isn't from our system. So this is directly just streaming from that CRM Integrations demo group. So anything posted in this group will show up in this Yammer feed in CRM. So I'm going to trigger one of those system posts now. So I'll create a contact by qualifying the lead. So I'll just select a couple of these and then qualify these. Cool, then I'll come down into contacts and I'll pick up Susan. And so those system posts should be posted to our activity stream under system posts. So I'll just let that load. First of all, we shouldn't see any updates on the Yammer area. So you can see there's currently nothing in Yammer. If I just click on system posts, we can see we've now got two activity streams there. So one that the lead has been qualified and one that the contact's been created. So that contact being created, that should get posted to Yammer because that rule is currently enabled for Yammer. So that'll be asynchronously processed in the background, so they won't automatically get posted to Yammer, those system posts. So you give that 5-10 minutes and those will show up in that activity stream in Yammer. So while that's waiting, I'll just post some comments on the user posts. So I'll say, for example, I want someone to follow up this. I can say, can someone follow up? Hit update, and so we can see that's posted from Dynamic CRM. If I come back into here, I've got Yammer open here, so I can come and if I go into just our main stream, so we can see all our Yammer posts. We can see we've got that record there. It's got can someone follow up, and we can see we've already got a reply. Cool, so we've got someone said yes, they'll follow up. That's efficiency. And if we come back into our contact, we can see that again we've got one reply, and we can see that, so we can actually see it's sent from the Windows phone, so they don't even have to be in CRM, they don't even have to be in Yammer, they can just be on their mobile phone with the Yammer app, and then they can get those updates in their Yammer feed and respond to those if they need to. And so I can like this from here and say great, so that acknowledges that I've read that. And then again, that'll get straight away updated in Yammer, and so we'll be able to refresh that and see that the latest up-to-date messages. And I'll just refresh this and see if those system posts have come through. If not, then we can just see, we'll be able to see on the right. So we've got those records. There we go. It's got that I've created that record in Dynamic CRM, and so we could click in there and see that record and when it was created and the feeds for that record.